I'm going to show you how to play the single-player version of Hero Slam. This is a game called Hero Slam. It's by Jamie Smart, and I fell in love with this artwork on this box, so this is pretty darn cool. So Jamie Smart basically produced a whole bunch of comics, and one of them was called Bunny vs. Monkey, and that was very popular. So yeah, you can check him out. Just do an online search on Jamie Smart Comics and you'll see his artwork. So yeah, I basically just looked at this and I was like, this is pretty cool. I wonder what this is. And it turned out to be a card game, and I was like, oh, so the card game has like all these cards that have all these wonderful cartoon characters on them. So even without caring about the game itself, I just cared about the artwork, and I purchased it just for the artwork. So I figured that if I were to play the game and I would like it, then that's a bonus. So yeah, pretty darn cool. So inside this box is a comic book, or what appears to be a comic book. It's actually an instruction manual, and it is written in a comic book format. So it says your adventure starts here, how to play, and as you see here, if you go through the pages of this comic, it tells you about what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fight a great evil in the forest, and you are one of these 4 characters called the Fates. Now, in a 2 or more player game, 2 to 4 players, you get to pick one of these for each of you. But in a single player game, you get to pick the Forest Fate right here. So I selected him right, or her right here, and here are the other Fates right here. So let's just set aside these other 3 Fates and just use the Forest Fate for our single player game. Very cool. So the next page here, more information about the great evil, and if you go here to the next here, there's this bard, like you're basically your guide throughout the entire game. So here we see that it's for 2 to 4 players, 1 player variation. Turn to the back of this booklet. So here on the back is the instructions for the 1 player version, and we'll refer to these instructions when we play the game. So here, if you turn the pages, you'll see what's in the box. There are 50 hero cards, 9 side quest cards, 12 imp cards, 4 fight cards, 1 underling card, 4 fate cards, and 6 villain cards. And the game board. Here's the game board right here. And you see the game board is divided into sections. So this is called the underworld. That's the skull thing right here. The trash section. The place where you place your cards, most of the cards that you're playing. And then there's slots for 1, 2, and 3, and I'll get into what these mean when we get to it. So basically for the single player version, you're going to remove these fight cards here as well as the imp cards. So these are for the 2 to 4 player version. And also, we're going to just set aside the remaining fates. And so what we have here, we've got our Forest Fate, that's us. And then we have here basic instruction card that basically tells us like rules on how to play this game. So yeah, we just keep that as a handy reference. We can put it right next to it, like that. So here, they're asking us to basically select 3 cards from the middle of the pack, and the 3 cards should be our heroes. So let's pick 1, 2, 3. So the first 3 cards we see, and then we'll just shuffle these, and then we're going to split the deck in half. So here, this is approximately 1/2. Let's see. Let's just make sure that both sides are pretty even, and then we'll set aside one of the halves. Okay, so that's about half right there, half on each side. We're going to set aside one of these. So now we've got half of the deck, and we're going to randomly select a monster from the villain card. So let's pick this one, and we'll set aside those other cards right there. So we put the villain underneath like this, and we stack it right here under the forest, and we have our 3 cards. I'm just going to use this section here for the cards in my hand. So we'll just put it like that. Okay, so first thing to do in your 1 player game is to reveal the first 3 cards here. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So here we see 2 side quest cards and 1 animal card. So because we drew an animal card in our hand, we're going to keep the animal. If you had a creature or a human or a forest dweller, like basically any of the heroes that come up, you get to keep one of them. So here there was only 1 to be had, so I basically placed that in my hand. So if you get 1 or more side quest cards, you get to pick one of them, and you get to execute the instructions that are here on the side quest card. So what you should kind of do is take a look at the side quest card and see which one might be like the weaker one, and then you can apply that as the side quest. So here, judging by what we have here, it says here, any monsters, or any heroes that is, with strength of 1 or more survive. Here, any heroes of magic 1 or more survive. So let's see, if we chose this one as our side quest, then basically 3 of our 4 heroes would basically die. They'd go into the underworld. But if we pick this one, strength, then let's see, 1 or more survive. So 1, 2, so only 2 would die in this one versus 3 in the other one. So let's pick this one as our side quest. We're going to put this in the trash. We're going to execute this, so strength of 1 or more gets to stay. So these 2 heroes get to be placed in the underworld. And that's it. That's where they'll remain. So because we executed the side quest, we get this as our additional ability for when it comes time to fight the evil villain at the end. So we're going to place it right here, just like so, and we're going to just try to sort them as they come, so that this is strength right here. So we'll keep all the strength cards together, and the magic cards together, and the intelligence cards together. So okay, so round 1 is over. So yes, we just have 2 cards remaining here. Now we're going to go through another set of 3. And if you were to do this in a 2 to 4 player game, you would basically just pick 1 at a time. Right? And if your successive cards are stronger than the previous card, then you get to keep the cards, or you get to reveal another card. And if you have all 3 cards where it's successively stronger each time, you get to keep all the cards. Otherwise, you just get to keep, I believe, the most recent card. So yeah, so that's how it goes. So here, we want to select the most powerful card. And you can just take a look at these numbers on the upper right. That basically adds up all the values, the 3 values that you see on each of these. So yeah, for here, I want to pick the one that's valued at 9, and we'll put the other ones into the underworld right here. So the strategy really is you want to make sure that you have balance in your hand of heroes, because if you don't have balance and a side quest comes up that can basically take out a large number of your heroes, then you're not going to have enough power to be able to defeat the villain at the end. So this is a strategy game. It's a game of numbers, and the thing is, it's not very complicated. Right? But it's not so simple as to make you go, oh, I'll just play this for like an hour and just put it away. It's a little more than that. So it's interesting, it's fun, and it's got this cute aesthetic about it. So I think that's why a lot of people will find this to be kind of like fun entertainment to kill an hour or so, if you want, to, waiting for the bus or something like that. So okay, our turn has ended, and we will just move on to the next 3, and we see here, these is worth 5, 8, and 9. I'm going to keep the one that's 9. And it's a good balance right here, too. So basically, if I had any zeros, then I might die in a side quest. So here we have... okay, so we've got a side quest now. So with a side quest, we're going to first pick our hero that we want to keep in our hand. And we'll just pick that one and put this in the underworld. Now, initially... Okay, so you want to try to... Because you're a Forest Fate, you want to try to have a lot of forest heroes, and that's going to help your situation when you're fighting the villain at the end. If you don't have very many forest heroes, you might not have enough points to battle the villain at the end. And then you'll have to resort to the remainder of your villains, and you only get to pick 3. So the 3 are, I believe they're randomly selected. So that's the chance you have to take when you're using non-forest heroes in your hand. So side quest, it says here, only the heroes of 3 strength or higher survive. So here we go, we look at the one that's this, and only 3 or higher survive. So this dies, and this dies. So we're left with 2 heroes, but we get the experience points right here. So here we have 4 total points on strength. So if we're fighting a villain at the end, then our best shot of defeating the villain is most likely strength. So yeah, let's continue on and we'll see where that goes for us. Because it could be that the villain might be super strong, and then we'll die anyway. So here, this is the underling card. There's only 1 underling card in the entire game, and you get to use this underling up to 3 times. So this is how the underling works. First, you have to select the card that you want to keep. And let's say I want to select this one. And then the underling says, destroy your weakest card. So the one that I picked most recently, this one, that's our weakest card, and there it goes. And then I take the underling and I place it somewhere in the middle of the deck right here. And there's not too many cards left, so it's not like I won't be able to see the underling again. I will be able to, and you can only use him 3 times. So after the 3rd time, then he gets placed into the underworld. So here we go again, our next set of 3 cards. And I think it's not so simple of a choice. Do I want to have a forest hero, or do I want to use the more powerful human hero? So in this case, I think it's to my advantage to pick this one, because I only have 2 cards at the moment. So I'll just do that, and then I'll hope for another forest hero upcoming. Okay, so the next one, good, that's an 11 total, 6, and ooh, this is the special forest hero. This is the hologram card. Take a look at that. It's a special hologram card. At an angle, you can see all of the weird holographic effect right there. It's pretty cool. It's beautiful. It's weird. It's mesmerizing. Yeah. And it's worth 15. So this is a no-brainer. You want to keep this. And plus, he's going to be able to fight in the main fight against the villain. So we're just going to place these other 2 in the underworld. Now we go, oh, the underling again. This is going to be our 2nd time we're using the underling. Okay, so first things first, we pick one of the cards, we put the other one in the underworld, and we use the underling to destroy the weakest card, which happens to be this one. So there we go. And unfortunately, that was a forest character, and that could have been useful in our main fight. So now we place the underling somewhere in there again to be used one more time, and here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's a side quest card. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to put this here, and the side quest says 1 intelligence or more survives. So let's look at the middle. This is the intelligence, the light bulb. So anything that's 1 or more survives. So it looks like everything survives, and I get to keep this card and place it there. So now we've got an additional power for the intelligence when we're fighting the villain at the end. Okay, here we go again. Next round. Oh, there is that final use of the underling. So I'm going to pick this as the card that I want in my hand. I'm going to place this one in the underworld. And this one now, I destroy the weakest one, which is either this one or this one. So I get to pick one. It doesn't matter which one, but it kind of does. So let's see. This is an intelligence of 4. This is a magic of 3. I think I want to get rid of this. And I'm going to place the underling in the underworld. And our final card here, because you're not supposed to turn this one over until the very end, right? So these are all the hero cards, and this is the villain card, so we get to keep this one. So luckily, it's a forest card, so all the forest cards get placed in a special like order on the side right there. And let's just place these like so. So here, let's flip this over now. This is the enemy, the villain that we have to fight. So the question is, in these categories here, the red or the yellow or the purple, when I add up all of the reds, including the stuff here, or all of the yellows, including the stuff here, or all of the purples, and there's no purple here, do any of those 3 numbers, those 3 sets of numbers, equal or exceed this? And I think it's equal, right? So long as you, let's see, or is it greater than? Let's see. It says here at the end of the game. It has to be greater. So I have to score either 14 in strength, 21 in intelligence, or 15 in magic, and then I will win. So let's do this. Let's see strength. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. Does 14 beat 13? Yes, it does. I've defeated Dr. Gotenstein. Very, very cool. Now, so I won the game, basically. But let's take a look. Let's say we wanted to do intelligence. Would intelligence beat Dr. Gotenstein? Let's see. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So 12 would not beat Dr. Gotenstein on intelligence. How about magic? 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Would 12 beat 14? No. So let's say none of these could beat these numbers here. What would I do? I would take the cards, the remaining cards here, I would shuffle them, and I would just pick 3 at random. And there's only 3, right? So if there were like 4 or 5 or 6, then this would make a little more sense. But since there's only 3, I get to basically use these 3, and then I use these as additional numbers in the fight. So basically, if you have like cards set aside that have high values and you add up all the reds or the yellows or the purples and they exceed any of these numbers here, then you win. And so it looks like with strength, we already know we beat this guy with just the basic forest characters. With intelligence, let's see. Intelligence, you've got 7, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19, which is not greater than 20. So for intelligence, it would not beat Dr. Gotenstein. Let's see about magic. So for magic, we have 12 right here, 15, 20, 24. So 24 is greater than 14, so by magic points, it would beat Dr. Gotenstein. So that's how you play the game. It's basically a numbers game. You do a lot of addition in it, and yeah, you have to basically selectively pick your cards, your heroes, to maximize your ability to potentially kill off the villain at the end. So yeah, that's how you play the single-player version of Hero Slam.